So this is kind of aimed at clients and anyone who pays any coach for a nutrition plan. You want to be getting the most out of your nutrition plan. And what I have quite a mix of clients from all different backgrounds and stuff, but I find that I have a mix of feedback, which isn't really consistent with the background that they're from. But the feedback is the most important thing. If you're not giving your coach any feedback, they can only help you on what you give them, which could be a few numbers in a spreadsheet, but that actually tells them very little about how you're finding the plan, and it's not really much for them to work from. For example, I have some clients who if they're on a macro based plan, they'll send back the spreadsheet. They'll let me know what macros they had every day, the water intake, the fibre, things like that, and the body weight. But they won't necessarily actually say anything to me. I'll just see the spreadsheet. If you're the type of person who does this and you're aiming to lose weight, your weight's going down gradually, then that's fine because I assume you're finding it easy, it's working, there's no issues, like it's absolutely fine, you're just going to carry on that way. And for a lot of people it does work like that, and it is fine to not really give me much feedback, but if there is anything you need to say or any issues that arise, then I need to know as soon as possible so I can adjust for this. But on the other hand, there are some clients who do the same thing but they've not actually hit the macros, the weight's all over the place, they've had days untracked, they're not hitting hardly any of the goals I've set for them, but then they're giving me no feedback whatsoever. I don't know what you expect me to do with this. Like, there's literally nothing for me to go off here. Obviously, I'm going to ask you what's going on, why are you struggling? But then a lot of the time, I don't even get a reply to that. So it's like, you're paying for this plan. Like, you need to give me as much information as possible so that I can actually help you achieve your goals. If you obviously you're struggling with it by not being able to hit your macros, but explain to me why. Like, are you struggling to get your protein in? Are you struggling to track regularly? Are you struggling with planning your food? Do you not understand how MyFitnessPal works? Like, I don't care if it's stupid questions. I don't care if you think anything's stupid or you're embarrassed to say something. I just need to know, because unless you're giving me this information, I can't help you at all. And then the other thing is, which some people do, is tracking everything perfectly until you've hit your goals or close enough to your goals, but then not tracking the rest of the food that you eat. So obviously you've gone over what's prescribed, but you're kind of not actually telling me this, so I assume you're sticking to the plan well. So I'm looking, saying, let's say you're on 2,000 calories a day. Really, you've eaten 2,200, 2,300, but you've told me you've eaten 200, and your weight's gone up a bit. If I see this, I'm going to put your calories down because I think you're not in a deficit, or I might tell you to increase your cardio, or whatever. Either way, I'm trying to get you into more of a deficit so that you're actually losing weight if that's your goal. So you need to be completely honest with your tracking. I don't care if you've gone off track. We can talk about why the day off track is fine. But if you're going off track regularly, we'll chat about why. You're hungry? Do you feel deprived? Do you feel restricted? Is it a bit of a psychological issue? Whatever the issue is, we'll talk about it and get it fixed. But if I don't know what you're actually consuming, and if you're pretty much lying to me, then I'm not going to be able to help you. I'm not going to be able to tailor the plan to you at all. So there's not really, you're not really going to get much out of it, and you're probably not going to make the progress that you want to make. Like, don't feel embarrassed if you're going off plan or overeating, or even to talk to me about certain issues. Like, some people will be like, oh, they'll mention a period and be like, sorry if it's too much information. It's like, there is no such thing as too much information. I have a lot of conversations with people about a lot of different things: poo, periods, low sex drive, absolutely anything. There's literally nothing that is too much information. It's all relevant to your nutrition, any bodily function, any mental health. It's all relevant to your body, which nutrition is all relevant to. I need to know these things. So I do have clients which are as simple as, here's your macros, or they've hit the macros, the weight's going down or going up depending on whatever the goal is, and they don't really say much to me other than good week, I'm happy, which is absolutely fine. Like, you're an easy client. It's pretty easy for me, to be fair. But I do like the challenging one because it gets a bit boring if everything's really easy and simple. But then I'll have people who they might have a few health issues, or they'll have blood checks regularly, so they'll send me the blood work. I'll analyse it for them, because you don't really get much when it comes to a doctor's analysis of your blood work, unless you've got some serious issues they know about. But you might get general health check of blood, and they'll be like, oh, everything's fine. Usually I'll ask the client to actually get a copy of this and have a look, because I've had a few recently and everything's not fine. There's a lot of things that are borderline, and if well, for anyone, borderline isn't ideal, but especially if you're an athlete. If you're an athlete and your iron levels are borderline or your vitamin D is borderline, it's pretty much it's low. Like, it is not ideal at all. So yeah, I won't get into that too much. I'll do another video on that one. But yeah, I'll have clients who I send essays to or long voice messages. I mean, everyone's with a check-in might take me 2 minutes. Like, whichever client you are, it's absolutely fine. But you need to give me what you think is all of the information. There's no such thing as too much information or that you're writing too much or it's too personal. Like, just give me as much as you can and you'll get the most out of the plan.